everyone, I'm Ilbra Petros, and thank you for joining me on another episode of UpNext, brought to you by Assyrian Global Network. Did you know that 39% of the world is considered overweight and obese, and 41% of Americans are considered overweight and obese? Now, a lot of this has to do with lifestyle choices, physical activity, sleep routines, but also genetics and taking certain medications also play a role. Now, maybe some of you have heard about a brand new drug featured on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram, and it's called Ozempic. So the way Ozempic works is pretty interesting. Like I mentioned, it's a weekly injection, and it's injected into two spots primarily, either the flank area or the thigh. And it tricks your body into thinking it's not hungry. So what happens, your pancreas secretes the hormone insulin, and then insulin levels out your glucose and then tricks your brain into thinking it's not hungry. So it actually works in two ways. That's the first way. The second way it works is there's a delay in gastric emptying. So food and liquids stay in your system a lot longer. So this is what Ozempic looks like if you were to get the prescription and bring it home. First thing you want to do is you want to make sure you put it in your refrigerator because it does need to be refrigerated. And so when you open up the box here, you will see that the pen looks just like this. So this here is the medication. It's already been used quite a bit. So this gray comes in, and you would want to dial it. Typically, physicians, what they will have do is they'll have their patients go to a milligram first initial dose of 0.25. And now let's talk about the side effects. So there are some side effects with Ozempic, and they are the following: diarrhea, nausea, vomiting, and then later on, since the patient would take in less calories, they may experience headaches and low energy, but that will subside the longer you use Ozempic and the longer you stay committed to it. So as you can see, the pen doesn't have a needle. We ran out of needles for this episode, but typically if you did have the medication, it comes with 6 sets of needles. So this pen is good for 8 weeks, depending on your dose, 6 to 8 weeks, depending on your dose. And then if a patient experienced no side effects and no weight loss, then the physician would have the patient go up in dose. And usually it's done very little at a time, 0.05 milligrams. So if 0.25 didn't work out, then 0.30 would maybe work out. So as long as the patient is not experiencing any side effects and is not losing weight, that's a good indicator for the physician to move the patient up in the dose. Once the patient has begun to lose weight and not experience any side effects, then the great news is that that is the new dose. And that dose you would stick with for weeks to come until you lose your weight. Here's a great part of Ozempic. You can stop using Ozempic at any time. You don't have to taper down. There's no side effects for quitting. As soon as you get to the weight loss that you want to be in and you're at your goal weight, you can discontinue use immediately. Now let's talk about the price, because maybe you've kind of bought into the idea of wanting to try Ozempic, especially for the new year to come in 2023. It is not cheap. Some insurances cover it, and some insurances don't. So typically there is a management fee, a patient management fee that a clinic will charge, and that's per clinic or per physician. But Ozempic runs anywhere between $910 all the way up to $1,400 per 6 to 8 weeks, so per pen. Places like Next Gen Health also sell it for weekly doses, so they have a weekly plan that you can sign up with. So they have an 8-week plan, a 10-week plan, a 14-week plan, a 16-week plan, and a 20-week plan, where the medication is a lot cheaper in the event the insurance does not cover it. And what Next Gen Health, what's really unique about what they do, they actually take the Ozempic, which is also called semaglutide GLP-1 drug, they mix MIC, which is a fat burner, and appetite suppressant as well, and a B12 injection. So you're getting a little more than perhaps elsewhere. And you would come in each week, get weighed by the nurse. She would check you in, do your calculations, see how the week was, and then discuss if the dose needed to be tweaked and if you needed to go up or down. There are a lot of support medication out there, so don't really worry about the side effects per se. There's things like Zofran that can be given for nausea, or Imodium for diarrhea. But the B12s really do help with energy, and they are fabulous. So I really recommend, as a go-to place, Next Gen Health being just a wonderful spot. They also have doctors from Stanford that are board certified in obesity and weight management. So they really know what they're doing, and it's a very credible institute. Abitun Robabasime. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Up Next with Ilbra Petros. I hope you really enjoyed learning so much about the latest and greatest about weight loss and the weight loss community and the new medication called Ozempic. Please stay tuned to my next video and episode where I'm going to be discussing regenerative services, especially taking a deeper dive into DermaPen, which is microneedling with PRP. Also, plasma-rich platelets, and how it can regenerate your skin and take away wrinkles, give you fuller, firmer, brilliant skin.